With this bombing of the Syrian Military Research Center. Let's get more analysis on it from Abayomi Azikiwe, editor of Pan-African Newswire in Detroit. Thanks for joining us today here on RT. Now, if this strike has indeed been carried out by Israel, why do you think it would target a Syrian military research center?
Well, it's quite interesting that the Israeli government, as well as the United States, has not officially responded to this provocation against Syria. It is inevitably a situation in which they are opening up another front in the war against the government of Bashar al-Assad. The Syrian government has been quite resolute in its campaign against these rebels over the last 2 years. Although the rebel organizations, many of which are backed by the United States and the other NATO countries, have caused a lot of disruption and dislocation inside of Syria, they have not shaken the resolve of the Syrian government to maintain its position of authority inside the country. So this is, of course, another effort on the part of the backers of these rebels to further weaken and destabilize the government in Damascus.
And this is the first alleged Israeli airstrike carried out against Syria in the past 5 years. Why now?
Well, of course, Syria is in a life and death struggle for its very existence. As I mentioned earlier, the rebels have been involved in tremendous human rights violations inside the country. We saw what happened just yesterday with the findings of some 80 people who have been massacred with handcuffs behind their backs, shot in the head. And of course, these actions carried out by the US-backed rebels inside of Syria are tremendously damaging to their image internationally. So in order to deflect attention away from these developments, Israel has entered alleging that Syria is transporting arms to Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. The Syrian government has denied that it is transporting these weapons to Hezbollah in Syria. And of course, this will be the main policy position of Syria as well as the United States in response to this bombing that has just been carried out today.
So how could this influence the ongoing conflict in Syria if it's proved that Israel was behind the strike?
Well, it's part and parcel of a broader strategy. Part of that strategy, of course, has been a deployment of Patriot missiles in Turkey, which is also a NATO country on the border with Syria. And then, of course, with the airstrikes that took place today, this is designed to create a sense of encirclement in regard to the Syrian government. I think that the Syrian government and those who are seeking a negotiated and political settlement to this crisis know very well that this is only designed to weaken the Syrian government, and that it will not be successful because in the long term, on the ground, the Syrian government has maintained the military initiative against the various rebel organizations who have been funded now for nearly 2 years to wreak havoc inside the country in an attempt to overthrow the government of Bashar al-Assad.
And this attack comes days after Israel moved its so-called Iron Dome defense to the north of the country. Is Israel expecting retaliation of some sort?
We don't know as of yet. There could be retaliation. We don't know exactly where the retaliation is going to come from. We do know that over the last 12 years, Israel has attempted to subdue and contain and even destroy the Hezbollah party inside of southern Lebanon. They have not been successful in their military campaigns. They were driven out of southern Lebanon in 2000. When they attempted to re-enter in 2006, they were met with a tremendous counterattack by Hezbollah, and they were defeated as well. Even in the recent assault on Gaza, with the introduction of the Faraj 3 and the Faraj 5 missiles from the Islamic Republic of Iran, this, of course, was a major intervention on the part of Hamas inside of Gaza against the Israeli onslaught. So they are very desperate at this point to carry out their military objectives, but we don't feel that this is going to be a decisive factor in the overall war inside of Syria.
And in the wider sense, I mean, Israel already has tense relations with Lebanon and the Palestinians. Why would it want to escalate another conflict on or near its borders?
Well, this has been the strategy and the tactics of the Israeli government since it has come into existence. They have a slogan that says permanent war. And of course, they are in permanent war against all the countries throughout the Middle East. And of course, the United States is complicit in all of this. They supply billions upon billions of dollars every year to support the Israeli military. They have not taken any sanctions or any type of restrictive measures against the Israeli government, and they supply weapons as well as diplomatic and political cover to the Israeli government. So this is a strategy on the part of Israel, backed up by the United States and the other NATO countries, to maintain what it perceives to be its hegemony, not only in Palestine, but throughout the entire region of the Middle East.
Okay, Abayomi Azikiwe, editor of Pan-African Newswire. Thanks for those thoughts here on RT today. Thank you.
Thank you.